months out of the year, they don't have any leaves on their branches, giving them the nickname the upside-down trees. Bamboo trees have another nickname you might recognize them by, and that's the tree of life, due to the fact that they hold large amounts of water as well as house many birds. Now we are entering the savannah, and you might get a sneak peek of some of the animals we're likely to see out here. I know I can spot some aside giraffes hanging out up ahead, but don't worry, I'm going to try and get us a good view of as many animals as possible out here, including those giraffes. Hopefully they'll be hanging out so we can get ourselves a really good view too. They're way out there on that left-hand side. But we're going to see a lot of cool animals beforehand, so I'll be able to talk about those ones too. And now there's a zebra in the road. Oh, it's just a great time out here.
Zebra on the road.
Can you see it?
No, I can't. Do you see anything?
Oh, yeah, I see something walking way over there.
Let's see Ankole cattle.
Yeah.
Ankole cattle. Water buffalo. Ankole.
Alrighty, let's see what we can spot out here.
Right there, Ankole. It's an An.
Looks like I see some of those Hartman's mountain zebras up ahead. They're going to be on this right-hand side. Looks like they were causing a little bit of a traffic jam, but they are moving. They're going to be hanging out there on that right-hand side. They're up ahead.
Giraffes in the distance. Get over there soon. He's over to the right.
Now, a group of zebras, like the ones there on that right-hand side, is known as a dazzle. This is due to the dazzling effect that their stripes give off when they run as a group. Those stripes are used by those zebras to help identify each other, as every single stripe pattern is completely different for each and every zebra. So a baby zebra can use those stripes to help identify its mother based only on her stripes after just an hour of birth. Looks like there's some animals there in that den on the left-hand side. Looks like there's some painted dogs. I'm going to see if I can get us another really good view here in just a second. Now, painted dogs are those patchwork painted color animals sleeping in that den on the left-hand side. Painted dogs are pack animals, meaning when they hunt, they do so as a group. Now, the animal there on the right-hand side, that brown and white spotted animal with the really large horns, are Ankole cattle. Those horns of theirs are really large. They're about 6 to 8 feet from tip to tip. Despite their length, they're actually incredibly lightweight. Due to the honeycomb-like structure that makes them up, that makes them almost completely hollow. Also there on that left-hand side are some sable antelopes, which are those brown, sable-colored animals laying on the ground. Sable antelopes are extremely protective animals. They're able to use those horns to defend themselves, and they're one of the only antelope species known to do so.
Oh, yeah, oh, zebra in the road.
Zebra in the road.
Now.
No.
Now another name for these Ankole cattle, like the one crossing the road, thankfully he's just crossing, so we're able to pass by him, is Watusi cattle. You might recognize
Oh wow,
them as
this guy
Watusi
just
cattle.
crossed the road.
And that's based off the Watusi people who helped to domesticate them over 2,000 years ago. Ankole cattle are actually one of the only 2 domesticated species here on the reserve. We're getting us a really good view of these Hartman's mountain zebras here on the right-hand side. Now, zebras actually communicate to each other through a series of facial expressions, just like us humans, and body movements. So when they're angry, they'll pin their ears back and show it on their face. But when they're happy, like they are now, they'll point those ears right up and perky.
Cuties.
You might see that smaller zebra. That is one of those baby zebras.
There's the baby
I can
next
tell
to the
based off the
tree.
torso and size of his head, as when a baby zebra is born, its legs are the same length of a full-grown adult zebra's. Now we are coming upon some Maasai giraffe, going to be here on the left-hand side. Maasai giraffes are the tallest mammals in the world, getting up to about 20 feet in length. Now there's going to be giraffes here on that left-hand side. Looks like there's a group of giraffes. Such group of giraffes is known as a tower. And Maasai giraffes are the tallest mammals in the world, getting up to about 20 feet in height. Their neck is about 6 feet long. Despite their length, they have the same amount of bones or vertebrae as our human neck. So there's only 7 bones that make up that neck, each one being about 10 inches in length. Looks like there on the right-hand side are some wildebeests, which are these gray-colored animals with the black stripes along their back. Wildebeests are the second most densely populated mammal in the world, second only to us humans. They participate in what's known as the Great Migration, and they do so in incredibly large numbers. The largest group ever being recorded was 1.5 million wildebeests at one time. Now it looks like there's going to be another giraffe there on that right-hand side. Now giraffes have a really long prehensile tongue that they're able to reach all the way out their mouth and grab onto things like leaves and branches. This tongue of theirs is about 22 inches in length. That tongue is, for reference, is about the same length as the tip of our middle finger down to our elbow. Now here on the left-hand side, looks like there's some tree branches scattered around. These are a really good sign that we are entering elephant territory, as elephants will pick up and move these tree trunks out of the way, so they have a clear path to walk through. Another great sign we're entering elephant territory is, of course, the African elephant there on the right-hand side.
Wow. There he is.
Now, African elephants are pretty large, and this is most likely a male, so it's one of the larger, getting up to about 13,000 pounds in size, while females only get up to about 8,000 pounds. Male elephants also spend the majority of their life off by themselves once they turn about 13, away from the herd or in bachelor groups, where there's about 6 male elephants at one time. Male elephants, like many other animals here on reserve, are endangered, so it's really important for us to do our part to help and protect them. A good conservation success story is the Bee and Elephant Project. Farmers here in Africa were having problems with elephants trampling their crops. But through research, we were able to find that elephants are actually scared of bees. The reason being, those large ears of theirs are incredibly sensitive to sound, so by the constant buzzing sound that bees produce would actually scare them away. So by building fences made out of bee hives and placing them all around the farmers' crops, we're able to keep the elephants away from those crops. The farmers got to keep their fields and feed new produce through honey. This helped to greatly increase the elephant population as it decreased the elephant and human conflict here in Africa. As elephants actually don't have any natural predators, their only threat is us humans. Through human elephant conflict, loss of habitat, and poaching. So it's really important for us to help out these beautiful creatures so we can keep them for many generations to come. Here on that right-hand side are some tusk marks. Those tusk marks, oh, hello, and there's an elephant there on the left-hand side.
Oh, wow.
Now these tusk marks are leftovers from these elephants who will actually dig into and eat this red clay. This red clay contains essential nutrients and vitamins to those elephants, as well as many other species of animals. So they'll eat it. I don't recommend it for us humans, though. We can't quite digest it, and it doesn't taste that good. I should know, I tried it for lunch this morning. Now it looks like we are coming upon that herd of female elephants. This herd is led by what's known as a matriarch. The matriarch being the wisest of the female elephants, who gives parenting advice as well as directions to the other elephants around. So anything she says goes. Now this female herd is on the left-hand side as well as a baby elephant.
Oh,
this
the
elephant's about a
baby.
year old, so she's only about 700 pounds in size. Now she has that trunk that has more muscles in it than the entire human body. There's about 100,000 muscles that make up that trunk, and they're able to use it to pick up things like leaves and branches, as well as pick up water to deposit into their mouth. Yeah, being stuck with me is worth it if you get to see that baby elephant. She's so cute.
Cutie.
Now, elephants can can pick up many things with their trunk as well as water so they can deposit it into their mouth. They'll pick up food and other things and even dirt to throw in their backpack, like a nice sunscreen for them. There on the left-hand side are some greater flamingos. Greater flamingos get their pink coloration by eating lots and lots of brine shrimp. Brine shrimp contains beta-carotene, which helps produce this pink pigmentation, as when flamingos are born, they're actually white or gray in color. But by eating those large amounts of shrimp, they get this pink coloration over their entire life. Greater flamingos are actually one of the lighter of the flamingo species, not getting that full hot pink color that they're known for. A group of flamingos is known as a flamboyant. Now we are coming upon a crash, but don't you worry, this is my favorite type of crash. That being the name for a group of white rhinos there on the left-hand side. Now these white rhinos are pretty large. They're one of the larger of the rhino species, getting up to sizes of 6,000 pounds in size. Despite their size, they're also known to gallop, reaching top speeds of about 35 miles an hour when they do so. White rhinos also have extremely poor vision. They can only see about 10 feet in front of their face. Speaking of their face, that horn on the front of it is made out of keratin, which is the same thing our hair and fingernails are made out of. Just like our hair and fingernails, those horns will never stop growing, so they'll grind them down on things like trees and branches, meaning no two horns are ever the same. Looks like I see a feline hanging around up ahead. Looks like she's hanging out. Looks like there's a cheetah gonna be on that left-hand side. Be really close there on that
she's
left-hand
moving.
side, back behind those rocks. Hopefully she might be coming to come right behind those rocks. Now these cheetahs are the only felines in the world to not have fully retractable claws. Instead, they use those claws, a lot like soccer cleats, to help push off into the dirt when they run, helping them reach top speeds of 60 miles an hour when they do so. Cheetahs hunt primarily during the day, unlike many other big cats, so they have these markings underneath their eyes known as tear marks. Those tear marks help to absorb the sunlight from going into their eyes to help improve their vision. Now, while cheetahs hunt primarily during the day, many other big cats will hunt at night, like the ones that call this copy on the left-hand side home, the African lions. You might be able to spot
Casey's all the way up there.
Those rocks over there, as this copy acts like a nice perch for them to get a better vantage point. Now, when they do go out and hunt, these lions will hunt primarily at night, due to the fact that their vision increases to be 6 times greater than a human's at night. When they do go out and hunt, it's actually the female lions that'll go out and do it, so the males can stay and watch over this copy as well as any cubs the group might have. A group of lions is known as a pride. When they do go out and hunt, those females will communicate through roaring. Those roars can be heard from about 5 miles away from each other. There's a few more lions down there near the bottom of those rocks too. Now lions will spend the majority of their day resting because they hunt at night. So they'll take nice little cat naps all throughout the day. It looks like we're coming up there on that right-hand side from Waterbuck. Waterbuck are some of my personal favorites. I think they're pretty cute because they have little heart-shaped noses. They get their name from the oil they secrete from their skin that makes them almost completely waterproof. And they don't participate in the Great Migration. Instead, as long as there's a water source nearby, that's where they'll hang out. Down that right-hand side are some ostrich eggs too. Those eggs are about 3 pounds in size each, meaning they're about 12 times the size of the standard chicken egg. Ostriches are also colonial nesters, meaning when one dominant female lays her eggs, the rest follow suit. making a clutch like the one we saw back there. Now, these shells are also incredibly strong, meaning if we were to stand on them, they would not break. Now we are entering the gaudy glen, and while our warden is still important things like moving animals out of the road, his furry friends are hanging out. Those being, of course, in the adorable shape of some Nigerian dwarf goats. Now these Nigerian dwarf goats are fully grown despite their size. They're actually one of the smaller of the domesticated goat species. Meaning they take up the perfect amount of space for our warden's small yard. They have a really round belly. This is due to the fact that they have a 4-chambered stomach. They also help to provide essentials like milk and cheese to our local village of Harambe. Now here in Harambe, we like to believe that conservation starts with a conversation. So if you learned anything new on the reserve today, or just have an amazing animal story to tell, like being stuck with me for a really long time due to animals on the road, I encourage you to go home and share those fun facts with your friends and family. Because just like you, they might not know that amazing fun fact. Or would really love to see that awesome animal picture you took. Many animals here on the reserve are endangered, so it's really important for us to do our part in helping to protect them. The easiest way to do so is by learning more about these animals, like you're doing right now, and by joining me on the safari. And another great way is by talking about them. Sharing those fun facts, raising awareness, talking about them like the stories about
bumpy,
how we
but
got stuck.
this is
Or
really bumpy.
even just posting about them on social media. You're able to help them out a ton. By sharing those
Wouldn't
fun
you
facts,
say?
you're able to start that conversation to help with conservation. Now, due to us being stopped out there for quite a bit, we are waiting for many of my friends to help all of their friends unload